What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome to my Greatsword build for Sunbreak. Now, Greatsword is probably the most fun it's ever been. With the introduction of the Surge Slash combo, we have an entirely new way to play the weapon. It's actually pretty good at sniping particular weak points on monsters, and I really just like that it deviates from the standard shoulder charge into TCS style of play. If you are a fan of that style of play, it's just as good as it's ever been. In fact, even better, because we can do a counter, a strong arm stance, directly into a true charge slash. So there is a lot of damage. This build is looking to maximize on that. So we are sitting at Agitator 5, Attack Boost 4, Crit Boost 3, Wex 3, Focus 3, Windproof 3, Speed Sharpening 3, Grinder Sharpness, Protective Polish 2, some Resentment, some Part Breaker, some Flinch Free, some Wirebug Whisperer, a Point of Bloodright, and Dereliction. So there's a lot going into this build. Before we jump into it real fast though, I briefly want to talk about Surge Slash and the counter attack that we now have. So for those that haven't been trying out the Surge Slash combo, the basic idea is Y is a falling slash, B is a vortex. If you hit both, it's going to be rising. So a vertical, horizontal, and diagonal attack. And what's nice is you can chain these any way you want. If you want to do 3 rising attacks, you can do that. But in general, if you're just looking to get the most out of just going through your 3-hit combos, it's usually going to be a falling, followed by a Vortex 2, followed by a Rising 3. The Vortex 2 gets a second hit, as well as the Rising 3, and that Vortex slash 2, it actually has a little bit of stun property as well, so pretty nice. Now, when it comes to using the counter, if you are doing the counter with Surge, you're going to be able to go straight into a tier 3. It doesn't matter what it is. So if I want to go straight into Rising, I can do that. And then from there, I could, do like a shoulder check and then get ready for the Rage Slash or go into the TCS. However, let's say you were playing Standard. Well, you're not going to want to do a regular Strong Arm, because if you do a Strong Arm, it's going to charge up the first hit of your Charge Slash, and then you have to shoulder check, and then you can go into the True Charge. However, if you are holding Y to get your charge off and you tap the left trigger, it puts you straight into True Charge. So the basic idea here is we need to be charging before we activate our counter. And the way to do that is while you're holding Y, you need to press and release the left trigger. As opposed to, holding it. I don't know. When I was playing, I typically hold the left trigger and then press the button, and it's kind of the reverse here. So it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you get it down, you can do some silly amounts of damage because you're literally just countering the monster and going straight into a TCS if you like that style of play. Well, jumping onto the build, you saw Grinder Sharpness, which is a pretty unique bonus. There are very, very few pieces of armor that actually have it right now. Going on over to it here. You can see we have 5 pieces of armor in the game with it. Now, I think we're going to get this as a deco, probably in a content update. But for now, you can only get this on armor or on talismans. And for this build in particular, you're going to need to have a talisman that has 2 points of Grinder Sharp and at least a level 2 deco slot. You can probably get by with no deco slot, but you're going to want to have 2-point Grinder Sharp on a necklace to pull off this particular build. I'll be talking about some alternatives as well, but just want to put that out there in advance. So the way this works is when we sharpen our weapon, if we get 2 levels of sharpness recovery, we get a buff for 90 seconds, and it's a pretty huge buff. It's in the range of about 10%. So, it's equivalent to having like Attack Boost 7 on your build. So to help supplement this, what we're going to be doing is running with the Ibushi Greatsword. Now this has just a little pinch of purple and then a bunch of blue, and what this means is we can fight with it until it drops to blue, sharpen it, it skips past white into purple, but that still counts as 2 sharpness levels. So we get that buff, gain a 10% damage buff with this, and then we're just beating away while we have that purple sharpness from Protective Polish. Now, if you are not a fan of this playstyle or you don't have access to that talisman, honestly, the alternatives I would recommend are, there's 2 in particular. You have Tigrix, which actually has 10 more raw. It's at 350 with minus 15% affinity, and it also has a level 2 rampage slot in the purple sharpness. Alternatively, you have Goss. Very similar, a little bit of purple sharpness, 350 on attack, has that level 2 rampage slot. With those in particular, if you're going to try and do those great swords, you're obviously not doing Grinder. And compared to the build I'm running, for those ones, honestly, I would just swap on a Kaiser. Because you're going to get 3 points of crit eye, that's going to cancel out the negative affinity, and then you just have a 350 purple sharpness greatsword, which is incredibly solid. It's going to be hard to beat that. But I have a feeling that I'm not a math guy for this game. Not to the extent that like the people that know all the equations are, but I think Grinder Ibushi might push ahead. And if it doesn't, it's still fun to be able to mix things up as opposed to just grabbing the weapon that has the highest number and the most damage. So, all that being said, let's talk about the build, what pieces we are using, and what decorations we are working with. Now, as always, with the talisman, I already mentioned you're going to have 2 grinder and ideally a 2-slot. Being on PC, I have access to essentially a god talisman, having 2 points grinder, 2 points protective polish, and then a 4-1-1. Now, you don't need to have this to run the build. You can run this exact same build and have the exact same skills if you just drop out Agitator. So small DPS loss in the range of it's like 2.5 or 3% or something, and I'll show how to do that a little bit later. But for now, first up, Sky Split Hurricane. As for your Rampage decos, you're going to want to use the antis. People have been punching the numbers on these, and these just outclass pretty much everything. I think Elemental Bane can push ahead on like dual blade builds and whatnot, but beyond that, the antis add so much damage. I think it's 10% on this one and then 5 on these 3 or something like that. But they're very strong, so having that tier 2 Rampage slot is just going to be a huge DPS boost. Moving on from there, Snow Shearer headgear. This comes with the grinder, as we already saw, 2 points of attack boost and a level 2, which we've dropped Tenderizer in. The Malzeno mail, and you could actually run the final boss mail here, and you'd have a little bit more DPS. I believe it's a point of resentment and chain crit, if I'm remembering right. But I really like having blood right here. It's a little bit of healing coming in, which I think is really nice with something like the Greatsword because it's slower. So we have Wex, Blood Right, and Part Breaker on here. We've slotted in a Tenderizer and Brace that we have flinch free for multiplayer purposes, and this ends up working solid. I don't think I need this for anomaly hunts because you're going to heal when you get hit with the blood debuff, but anything you're hunting that's non-anomaly, being able to break parts and heal off of it is just nice quality of life. Moving on down, Lunagaron Bracers, giving you Wirebug Whisper, 3 Agitator, and then we can pick up a point of crit boost and speed sharp. The Rathalos Coil, giving you 2 attack boost, 3 windproof crit boost, we can slot in another crit boost, and then of course the Arcfiend Armor Saros, with Dereliction and Resentment, and 3 slots so we can work in 2 more points of Challenger and Charger to see the build we had before. Now, if you want to make adjustments to this, like I said, if you were looking to just get more damage, you can do the Arcfiend. As you can see with the slots, we'd have the same amount of Wex, we'd lose Blood Right and Part Breaker, but gain Resentment and Chain Crit, and we'd also have a level 3 that you could do whatever you want with. You could do Quick Breath or some utility, whatever the case is. That's originally what I was using, and then I ended up going to Blood Right to try and give myself a little more survivability. Beyond that, if you are struggling on the Talisman, what I would suggest doing is go over to the Sailor Gear. This has 3 points of focus, Wirebug Whisper, and a level 3 Deco slot. So you could essentially just run Sailor. In your Sailor, you would drop that crit boost Deco, and then since you don't need to worry about the focus there anymore, or the focus that we have in the legs, instead you can slot Protective Polish into those slots, effectively still having access to that 2-point grinder, 2-point protective polish. So there's quite a few adjustments you could do here depending on the talismans you have or the playstyle you want. That's something I really want to stress because I've seen a couple people on some of these builds be like, well, I don't have the talisman, I can't put it together. And it's like, you can, you just got to adjust it a little bit. So real fast, talking about, and this is something that I'm not sure math-wise, but so Grinder Sharp, we have a 90-second window on that. Protective Polish can go 30, 60, or 90. And the reason I only have 2 Protective Polish is actually on purpose. So the way I'm thinking about this is we need to drop down to blue so we can activate this. When we do, we get 90 seconds. This will go off at the same time, giving us 60 seconds of purple. Since this has just a little bit of purple on it, my thought process here is we sharpen our weapon, we get that purple for a minute, we have that attack boost for a minute and a half. After the minute has run out, that gives us 30 seconds to basically attack through that little bit of purple sharpness we have, and then reapply the buff, giving us as much uptime on the buff as possible. Now, obviously, to really pull this off, you're going to want to have speed sharp because you're going to be going down and sharpening basically every minute and a half. But just with the way hunts work, it's not really all that bad. But definitely a very unique playstyle. I mean, even without this, if we were running either of those other great swords, you'd be running 3 speed sharp, 3 protective polish. So last thing I want to talk on is, of course, the switch skills. Now, this is really going to be preference. Personally, I just really like Surge Slash, and I end up missing my True Charge a lot, so I'm going with Rage Slash on the blue. Keep in mind, with Dereliction, you're going to be hitting harder physical attacks on the blue scroll. It doesn't mean you can't use the red scroll, it's just the blue scroll will be stronger. So I'm using the attacks I prefer over there. Between both sets, I like Tackle, Strong Arm, and Power Sheath. That counter's just too good to pass up, and Power Sheath, obviously, it's not only a buff, but it gets you out of the way of the monster, sheaths your weapon. Just fantastic all around. But so that is going to wrap it up for this build. Pretty straightforward stuff. Let's go ahead and eat, and then we're going to go and do a hunt. Oh, let's go for the 70. It's always a good feeling when you hit all 4. So in terms of our target, to be honest, I'm not very good with Greatsword. So I'm thinking Arathian just because I know its moveset very well. The Greatsword's actually, like, if I was to look at my top 5 least used weapons, I'm pretty sure Greatsword is in that list. It might even be as low as like top 3. I just, you know, barely touched it back in the day. I didn't play a lot of it in World or Iceborne, didn't really do much of it in Base Rise. I mean, now that we have the Surge Slash, this is the first time I've really been like, yo, Greatsword is wild, I want to play more of this. And it is fun. I've actually considered whether or not I want to. I've been thinking about trying to essentially become like a Greatsword main for my Switch playthrough. Because I started on the Switch, I haven't gotten far, I'm just kind of playing in spare time. But I haven't decided on what weapon I want to use. I'm thinking maybe it would be fun to do Greatsword. Let me try and do something here. I don't know if I can pull this off, but I've been meaning to. Oh, my timing was off. Well, I can still do this. Let's see. There. Back. Oh, I clipped the wing. And then I missed my counter right there. Oh no. That was bad. That was very bad. We were getting booped. I gotta hit these weak butts. Actually, you know what? You are going off of it right now. God, this is a very angry Rathian. See, this is what I like about the Surge so much. Being able to do stuff like that, get the pops off on those things. Oh, damn. I came in mean. I don't even think my health was that low. It's just anomaly monsters. Boot the shit out of you. I need to get him out of that cave, honestly. I don't have enough, I don't have any space to move. Might be able to pull him into the larger nearby area. Oh, I thought a fireball was coming from my face. Oh, and the animation. And you can see exactly why that blood right is just so nice. Probably should have sharpened it right when I got to him, but it's okay. Oh no. Pop these. Oh god, no. I messed that up. Oh no, I didn't. We got it. Actually, I don't know the exact values, but I heard someone was saying that you actually get better part break on this new combo. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but... Fire that Kitnator off. Oh, yes. Oh, oh. Go ahead. Yeah, but like, I mean, just little things like that. Like, I feel like it used to be so hard to hit snipes like that with the Greatsword. And with this, nope. Just pop those legs. Countered on my shoulder check a little too much there. Get me with that one too. Shit. Oh man. Cats, 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 cats. Cats! Oh my god, he was running away. Wow. Wow, what absolutely amazing timing there. That was like super sketchy. I was like, I'm gonna die. I think probably one of the hardest things about this is like remembering, like, you know, because I'd be like, oh, I'm about to fight. Let me pop protective polish, and it's like, no, I need to wait till I'm at blue to pop protective polish. Here we go. Shit. Actually, you know what? Here, let me pull your ass out into the water. Right around the schools of little fish. Come to the little fish schools. Come on. Damn, I'm just getting bopped by that tail. Oh, did not mean to use that. There we go. No, come on. In that face. Oh, I was trying to go into the strong arm. Bro. Oh my god. And the wake up TCS is still just like, it's always gonna be fun. But so that is the Greatsword build. Like I said, if you want something that's a little easier, you could just run Gauss or Tigrex and, you know, swap the helm out. But all in all, I mean, I like this. It's, to me, and I mean, the Ibushi weapons are honestly perfect. So, you know what I mean? I like to try and mix things up, come up with good ideas, especially after the hammer build. You know, doing the para hammer, I was like putting together a Greatsword. I was like, well, I mean, I could just do like pure damage, but let me try and do a different kind of pure damage. So either way, that is gonna wrap things up on this one. Quite a few builds are basically ready. I just got to record them. So expect to see the bow build soon. They're going to be rapid bow, just how they were before. On top of that, we are going to be doing, got the gun lance ready to go and the insect glaive ready to go as well. So those will all be coming up. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time.